Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is my first video, so I'm going to take some time just to introduce myself and tell you a little bit about me. This channel is going to be all about cystic fibrosis and pretty much just my life with cystic fibrosis. I think that everybody is so different with CF. There are so many mutations out there. And so I just wanted to share what my experience is, and hopefully if you're a parent and you've just found out your children are diagnosed, or if you were just diagnosed late in life and you're kind of scared, I just want to show you what one way of life with CF is. So basically, cystic fibrosis is a disease that affects the respiratory system and the digestive system. It makes it so that you get sick much easier. Basically, all of the mucus linings in your body are extra thick and extra sticky. So, like, my lungs are a perfect breeding ground for bacteria. And then that lining in my stomach through my digestive system and the problems that CF causes with the pancreas cause a lot of digestive issues. So I'll have a hard time absorbing certain vitamins, especially the fat-soluble ones, A, D, E, and K. I used to have to take enzymes every time I ate, and those would be basically to make up for what the pancreas wasn't able to do. Since I stopped eating meat, I haven't had that problem, and I do want to say I'm vegetarian. Sometimes I'm vegan, but right now it's a struggle. But that's my choice, and that's something that I worked with my doctors on. And so I'm not saying that I think everybody with CF should be vegan or vegetarian. I'm not saying that it's something that I think most people with CF should do. I'm saying if it's something you're interested in, it's definitely possible, and it's a choice that I make. So just to get that out of the way, it's a personal choice. It's not a special health choice that I think everybody should make or some secret to making CF go away. The truth is there's no cure. They're working on a lot of treatments, and they're making a lot of progress as far as research goes, but there's not a cure. And there goes my cat. Okay, so with that said, I think I'm just going to tell you my story. Honestly, I don't think it's that long. Hold on. Oh, she was going to hop up on the camera. This is Elsa. She's my cat. Myth number one about CF we're going to bust is that you can't have pets with CF. You totally can. You just have to keep it clean. Vacuum, keep the blankets washed. I would say keep them off the bed, but if you've ever had a cat, you know what a joke that is. But sweeping, vacuuming, keeping the place clean, you can have pets with CF. Obviously, talk everything through with your doctor. Make sure you're being smart. She really wants up there. Hold on. Okay, she wanted her food. So, my story. So, when I was born, my mom was actually only 16. I think my dad was 18. So, it was quite a shock for them anyway to have a child, but to have a child with CF was, I know, very scary for them. I was really sick for the first couple months of my life. I don't know if I was in the hospital consistently that whole time, but I know that I was in the hospital a lot. I got really sick. I know I had pneumonia when I was younger. And then I think I was around 3 months old when I was diagnosed with CF, and they finally figured out what was wrong with me and why I was so miserable. The way they found out is actually really funny. So, this is like, I don't know, it's before the days when the medical field got so nitpicky and super sterile, which is probably a good thing, it probably is safer, but the way that they figured out to do this test for CF with me, sorry, I can't talk. The way they figured out to do that test for me was because the nurse kissed my forehead, and it was salty. So if you don't already know, people with CF, they tend to sweat a little more, and their sweat is more salty. So that was what tipped the nurse off to say, hey, maybe this baby has CF. And so that's how they figured it out. And then after they diagnosed me, my mom was able to give me enzymes, and they were able to start doing the treatments I needed so that I would be happier. And I heard that after that I was a much happier baby. So apparently I've always been a cheerful little baby in like my entire life. It never went away. As soon as I got to not being miserable. Wow, do you mind? Elsa, ladies and gentlemen, the star of this show. So, when I was younger, I didn't have a whole lot of trouble with my CF. I had to do treatments usually twice a day. It would be 4 times a day if I got sick or if everybody around me was sick, just to be careful. I wasn't hospitalized very often in like the life that I can remember, that part of my life. I have only been hospitalized 2 or 3 times, and those were a lot more recent. So for me, my life was actually pretty normal. I had times when I was going to school, especially in elementary school, when I would need my inhaler before PE, and when I would need to leave class a little early for lunch so that I could get my pills on the way. At my school, we had a problem with really long lines, so by the time I got there, there would be no more food. So I started getting priority in lines, and we had an arrangement made so that I would be able to have seconds or thirds at lunch if I wasn't able to pack a lunch for school. And other than that, it really didn't impact me. I did treatments before and after school, and I kept up with my friends really well. My cat, you guys, my cat. We'll see if she'll sit still. Hi. Hi, yeah. I'm so sorry. I hope you guys like cats because apparently she's in this video. But yeah, as I got older, it kind of became more of a problem. I went to a medical charter high school, and so it was all really focused on getting into the medical field. I wanted to be a nurse, which now looking back, it's obvious that that wasn't the best choice for someone with CF, but my plan was to be a geriatric nurse, and so I was going to be working with the really elderly people, and unfortunately that means not a lot of people with CF because we just don't get to be that old. And so I thought that was a safe career choice for me. It was something that I absolutely loved. I've been volunteering in nursing homes since I was 14, and my senior year I actually worked as a CNA, as a nurse's assistant, and I got really sick. And I think it had to do with a lot of things, but I was going to high school, so it was full-time school. I was working 32 hours a week in a nursing home, and I had CF. And I think that all of that, on top of it, I was exposed to a patient who had a lung infection before we knew that they had a lung infection. And so I ended up getting really sick. I caught the infection, and I was hospitalized. And that's kind of when I left the clinical side of healthcare. And it was a pretty big shift for me. It was right before I went to college, and so I had switched my major to business and figured I needed to restart and figure everything out again. And so I just went with business. I figured that was neutral. It was something that would benefit me in any field. And I kept going. So I went through college, and I worked in the disability center at my school. And it was a lot of fun. I got a job as a note taker, and so I could do my treatments while I was transcribing notes for students with disabilities who needed to have their notes written down. That worked out really well for me. And then after college, I came back home and started working in the hospital. And I worked in the hospital as sort of a receptionist, but as you can imagine, being exposed to a bunch of patients, I ended up getting sick again. We had really, really bad fires. This was actually last summer. So I live in Idaho, and we had really bad fires. They were in Canada. I think it was in Washington. There were fires in Montana and Oregon, and then we had our own fires in Idaho. And all that smoke was just settling right around home for me. And so I ended up getting really, really sick. I was almost hospitalized, and I had to leave my job. And that was the first time that I'd really lost a job because of CF. It was really hard for me. I had tried kind of working at a hospital. I assumed they would kind of understand. And I tried working with the human resources department, but we just couldn't make it work. And so I lost my job, and then my whole career just fell apart at that point. But that was the first time that CF had really strongly impacted my life. I kind of went off on a tangent there about careers. What I'm doing now is actually working for myself. So I work from home or from coffee shops or wherever I want to be that day. I'm a life coach. So I actually am more of like a confidence and mindset life coach, but I do coach people with CF too. And in doing that, I help them to create routines that work a little better for them, that make their life with CF easier so that the CF part of their life isn't taking over everything else. Along with that, I do traditional coaching, so I help people reach their goals, I help people see those limiting beliefs that are holding them back and figure out how to completely squash all those doubts and insecurities and let go of it. Excuse me. So that's what I'm doing now. I absolutely love it. It's the most amazing career. It actually makes me pretty glad that I lost my job because I never would have thought to get into life coaching if it weren't for that. It's something that I think it's a lot of fun, and I think that being able to work from home with CF is such a great setup to have. I'm also a writer, so I'm working on my first 2 books right now. The one is actually going through the editing process before it's published, and that's going to be a fantasy novel. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know and I'll talk more about it. But I am going to try, like I said, to keep this channel mostly about my CF. So other than writing and coaching, I live a pretty normal life. I don't know if I already said I'm 22 years old, and I live with my husband. We've been married for 4 years at the end of this month. So we dated for a really long time before that. We're actually like middle school sweethearts, I guess. We started dating when we were about 14. So he's kind of been my best friend just growing up, and he's been with me through a lot, and he's been supportive through all of it. I think one thing I'm lucky about is that I didn't have to deal with the dating aspect of CF. I think that intimidates a lot of people, and I never really had to deal with that because I've really only been with my husband, and I was with him from such a young age that we just are really comfortable with each other. I do remember when I was younger, I used to be afraid that my friends wouldn't accept me or that they would judge me or think I was gross because CF is kind of, it can be a gross disease because you're coughing stuff up all the time. People ask you what it is and then they want to know what it means and you're explaining, well, my mucus linings. That used to scare me so much, but it's really not that big of a deal. It's something that I think you get more comfortable with as you get older, and honestly, as you get older, all kinds of weird things happen to your body anyway, and I think we all just learn to be more comfortable. Maybe that's the medical field in me talking, I don't know, but I just think you shouldn't let, I don't want to say shouldn't, but you don't deserve to be less loved or less liked or to be less included and involved in your own life just because you have a disease. Even if it means that you cough things up sometimes, it's okay. It's just part of the life, and it's all right. So all that said, what else? I guess I should tell you a little bit about what I like now that I've told you my whole life story. I really love cooking and eating a lot. That's one of the perks of CF, I guess, is getting to eat all you want. I like I said, I'm usually vegan, and when I'm not, I'm vegetarian, so I make a lot of meals that are just full of vegetables. I like to sneak coconut oil and avocado in there to get a little more fat. I just have a lot of fun. I love finding new recipes and trying new foods. I really love pizza. I have my cat who is loving this whole thing, and I have 3 dogs. My husband and I, we have 3 chihuahuas. They're all rescue dogs. They're actually in bed, so I will introduce them in another video. They're starting to play though, so if you hear grumbling, that would be them right behind you playing. What else? I enjoy hiking. I really, really want to go canoeing. I went once when I was younger, and it's been something that these past few months I've been thinking about, so we're going to try to make it happen this summer. They are, you can definitely hear that. Guys, shh. They're so playful, but when they go to bed, they like chew on each other's ears and get upset with each other. Okay, so what else? So like I said, I like hiking. I go hiking a lot when I'm sicker or when it's not very nice outside or when we have fires. It's a lot harder. When the air quality is bad, obviously I don't go, but if I need to stop and take a break to cough, to me it's totally worth just getting to go for a hike, so I'll do it. I really love swimming, so there's a place here in Idaho, it's Lucky Peak. I don't know if you've been through Idaho and you haven't gone to Lucky Peak, you need to come back. But it's an awesome place. It's so much fun to go swimming there. I like to take my dogs and we swim out to the docks, and it's just a lot of fun. Like I said, I'm a writer, so I spend a lot of time writing, especially during my treatments. It's a really great way to pass the time. I'm also kind of a baby herbalist. So I've been studying herbs and herbalism for the past couple years with the Herbal Academy of New England. They are great. If you're interested in them, I will link them down below for you. Oh, hi. But they've been so much fun, and they share a lot of recipes. So, of course, I run it by my CF clinic if there's anything that has any warnings on it or anything. But for the most part, I use herbs that are safe for children and for the elderly, and so they're pretty safe for CF, especially if they have no known drug interactions. So I just have a lot of fun making different teas and soups and finding new ways to grow and eat herbs. I think it's a lot of fun. And I think that having those extra plants in my diet definitely makes me feel better. It makes me feel more energetic, and it makes everything just feel less inflamed. I think that's a big part of CF, at least for me, is that everything feels inflamed all the time. So anything I can do that gets my sinuses or my lungs to feel just more relaxed is amazing. I am so sorry about the dog growling. Shh. I also love yoga and Pilates. I enjoy weightlifting, but I haven't for a long time, as you can see. But I enjoy weightlifting, and I'm trying to get back into that. I just need a new bar because somebody took my old one and it's gone. So I'm working on that. I do yoga every day, sometimes twice a day. It's something that I like because it helps me get my breathing. Just it helps me focus on my breathing and focus on my body and get to know where I'm at. I also notice that if I am getting sicker, I'll notice it a lot sooner since I started doing yoga, and I can start taking those extra measures, like adding extra saline treatments and things like that every day, so that I don't get as sick, and sometimes I don't actually get really sick at all. So that is something that I definitely enjoy. When I first started getting into fitness with CF, I'm going to tell you guys one more thing. I want this to be something that's useful for people with CF, so I'm trying to drop hints for you guys here. But something else that I love is Pilates, and I've been doing Blogilates with Cassie Ho for like 6 years. She's amazing. She's so exciting. She offers a lot of modifications for the different exercises, so whether you're a beginner or if CF is just kicking your butt that day, there's always something you can do with her, and she just makes it so much fun. I'll link her down below too, and I would also recommend following her on Instagram if you're trying to get more exercise into your day. I've been watching her stories on the times that I don't want to work out, her Instagram story, and I get right off my butt and go do something. She's so exciting and super inspiring. So that's me. That's what I like to do. That's a little bit or a bit of what living with CF has been like for me. I hope that this has been helpful for you guys. I hope that it's been reassuring for the parents out there. I want you to know that living with CF has definitely changed how my life could have gone, but it hasn't made my life miserable, and it definitely hasn't ruined my life. I think that a life with CF is still a wonderful life to live. And I hope that if you're struggling with CF, you feel like you have the support. I want you to know that this is a safe space. You're welcome to comment below. You can come on my website and shoot me an email. It's lilacsandparadise.com, and I'll link that below too. I actually have a special page offering coaching just for people with CF. So if that's something that you're interested in, just shoot me a message, use the contact form on my blog, or comment down below, and I will get back to you. I would love to get to know you, and I would absolutely love to work with you. So that's my story. Sorry it got so long. Again, I'm Jessica, and thanks for watching.